No bother, mate. You're here now. So thanks for taking the time to do this. It's a real pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Excited.
Busy period, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got a lot going on, and we got ton of shit going on in the next couple months too. So, yeah, I'm ready for it. I've been prepping for it for the whole year. So,
Yeah. I think people be surprised to know how busy this period can be because obviously, we're building to an album release. We're releasing a new album, Manual Manic Procedures, out June 28th via Metal Blade, of course. But what is there
yeah.
anything specific right now that's really taking up your time?
Not necessarily. I mean, we just got home from the Dying Fetus tour, so right now we're just trying to get ready for our headliner that's coming up, which is going to be a bunch of like new stuff that we haven't played before as a band. So, that's pretty much going to be the main thing is like rehearsing and practicing for this upcoming tour. And also, just taking like a nice little break from our relentless tour schedule that we had last year, which I mean, this year is going to be the same, if not even more tours. So, just run this little 2 months while we can.
I mean, you're hot right now. Take advantage of it. You just say the Dime Fetus tour. How was that? Was that a good time?
Man, that was so far my favorite tour I've done with a band. Dude, like every band was awesome. Everybody that, was, the crew for every band was fucking sick. I can't even think of one time there was like a single issue with anything with anybody. So I mean, dude, it was a fucking great time. And we all hung out, we all fucking shotgun fucking beers and white claws and shit. So great time. Absolutely great time.
What more could you ask for? Have you worked out roughly what your set list is going to look like for the headline tour?
Yeah, we have a pretty good idea. We're gonna throw in obviously a bunch of new stuff off the new album, and then we might even try to throw in a couple like older ones that haven't necessarily been played since I've been in the band. So yeah, we might throw a little bit of those, but definitely want to focus on getting the new stuff out there for sure.
So it's all about. Got to get people hearing those songs. Are you as a group, as a whole, in good spirits about the release? Still feeling very excited about it? Because obviously the road to a release is a long one.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we kind of just been like, just really anxious about getting it out. Just like, man, like, when the fuck is this motherfucker gonna come out? And once we finally got a date and we got like, once we started releasing singles and stuff, we were like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. It was like, instead of just like waiting, it was more of like now we're like anticipating. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, because we got the music video that came out for Hands, and then we put out Ride the Flatline with Jamie from Code Orange, and then when we drop the album on the 28th, there'll be a music video for a song called Gross Abuse. And
Hmm.
that one's more of a traditional like kind of music video where in the sense of there's like shit going on and actors and special effects and all that bullshit. As opposed to Hands where it was like a live, like kind of like, music video.
No way to say it, man. Love Gross Abuse. Love the albums. Talk to me about the mindset you had when work first started on it. Because obviously you delivered something very strong and very well received with Slave to the Scalpel. And now you have to follow it up. Were you confident you could?
Yeah, I mean, like, so for this one, it was mostly, well, pretty much all Steve, and Ezra doing like the lyrical aspect of it. And they were kind of like stressed out because, we needed to put an album out and they had been touring so much and they didn't have anything ready yet. Like, like set in stone that, would have been, um, up to par to like what our standards are. So it was a little stressful at first, and then getting into the studio, finding deciding on who we were going to record with was like you know um, a little bit of a hairy thing at the beginning. And then just decided to go with Andy because it was so comfortable when they recorded Slave. They wanted to have that same comfortability and freedom, because they've known him since they were like teenagers, like
Mm.
playing shows and shit with Weekend Nachos and whatever. So it was really, because they've recorded even with Andy with the previous projects that they've done, so going to him was just kind of like, back to the roots kind of thing. And yeah, it was just a really comfortable thing going in. Um, they're only there for, I think, like, I want to say like 2 weeks. So, I mean,
Hmm.
they really hammered everything out really quickly. And, still had like, because the cool thing is like Andy's studio has like a spot for the band to sleep. So you can still sit in there, and when he goes home, you can still sit around and like fuck around. So, the whole 2 weeks is spent like, just trying shit out, fucking around, writing lyrics, trying, do whatever you can to like, get it all out. Um, at first it was like a little stressful, but once we got in there, it was just like, a breeze to like get it all
Yeah.
done.
You felt pressure.
Somewhat. I mean, just the pressure of, like needing to get the album out, because it'd been so long since, Slave had come out. And at that point, even the Masters Morbidity EP hadn't even been out yet. So those two songs hadn't even come out. Well, except for Masters. Masters had come out, but Fatal Reality had yet to come out. So it was only the one song, because Masters came out when they announced signing to Metal Blade.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, not too bad.
I mean, that's all you can ask for. At least to be able to reflect on it, and particularly as well. Was there a clear vision, like a clear vision for what the record was to be at the start?
Um, I'm not too sure. I know just to be heavy, not to do the same fucking shit over and over again. Trying to just like push the boundaries of what the band is. Try new shit out with clean and acoustic guitars. And we have a fucking instrumental track on this
Yeah.
album, which is new for the band. So yeah, just trying new shit, and if it didn't work, it wasn't gonna make it. And I mean, because there's one riff that Steve wrote that he was showing me that I wanted so bad to be in a song, but it just didn't. If we would have just like forced it in somewhere, it would have been for nothing. So that's another riff that we got, like, so that kind of stuff. Like not just putting shit in just because we like really want to hear that one riff, or this one idea, saving it for, when it's, you got the right shit behind it, and, coming together the way it needs to come.
Where's that riff now?
Oh man, it's it's not on anything yet, but it's
It's
coming. Yeah,
there.
yeah, it's fucking sick though. That's one of my favorite riffs he's written.
Oh, I want to hear it now. Oh man.
Yeah, it's fucking heavy. It's sick.
Oh man, considering what's on the album, that's awesome. Was there a specific stage where everything started to come together, where you started to notice, okay, full album is growing here. There's this many tracks are sounding good, and so on.
I think it's when when we finished recording, and we listened to all the songs that we had recorded, and we're like, this sounds like an album. It's not necessarily as long as like a traditional like album, but it sounds complete. When you listen to
Hmm.
it, you're like, this is an album. You know what I mean? It's no, it's 9 songs. Um, our songs don't necessarily tend to be very long, although there are songs on this album that are longer than any of the other songs that were on Slave or the demo. But still, I mean, you can hear it. Like if you go from the demo to what this album is, you hear a complete difference. Not necessarily so much as like the sound of the band, but just like the structures of the songs, and the what's the fucking word? Uh, you know, the overall like construction of them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, um, there's a lot of work put into this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the most stressful part was really just like um, planning it. Between taking a break from like tours, and finding the time and the person who we want to record with. But yeah.
Why is there that difficulty to kind of just stop touring for a bit and focus on the record? Is it just a love of playing live?
Yeah, I mean, we get home and we're like, fuck. At first you're like, the last week of tour, you're like, oh man, yeah, I'm going home. Fuck yeah. And you're home for a week and you love it. And then a week later, or like, that next week, you're like, well, now what the fuck do I do? Because, I don't have a job just because it's like really hard to like keep on with how much we tour and stuff. So I can only do like, gig work and whatever. So I'm usually just stuck at home. Like I'll probably go fishing a bunch, like this next 2 months. But you know, uh it's also like that's where we get most of our income too, is like touring. We don't make like a ton of money on if we're not on the road, or really any money at all. So um, keeping that same mindset of you know, difficult to keep a job. The only way we're gonna make money is on the road. And it's just like, I mean, we all like, I live in Denton, Texas. Steve lives in Atlanta, and then Ezra and Owen both live in Cleveland. So it's just like, well, fuck, we can't even hang out with each other. So it's just like, let's do a fucking tour so we can like all hang out and like party again. So it's just more of a, it's just like a big fun road trip. A lot of the time. That's
Is it
the big.
is it fair to say you're at your happiest when you're on the road?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I love being home. Spending time with family and my girlfriend and stuff. Um, been having the freedom just to like go and do whatever I want that day. But at the same time, like you get to see like all different states, different countries, all kinds of different terrain. Being in Texas, it's hot as fuck. So like getting out of Texas and going up, a little bit more north where the weather is normal. That's also not a bad thing either. But yeah, I mean, like hanging with the boys and just getting into stupid shit with each other is just like, so much fun, and it definitely is a highlight of being on the road for sure.
Do you like traveling out of America? Do you like going further afield?
So, I mean, we've only been to Europe once, and that was like a lot of fun. It was a very, different experience, obviously, on the whole other side of the world.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, and I'm really looking forward to coming back in November with Gate Creeper. So that's gonna be fucking, a really cool time. And I also love going to Canada too, and eventually I'd like to go to Mexico too, because I have family that live in Mexico. I mean, probably not anywhere we're gonna play, but it's still cool to like do something like that. Even South America, everywhere. I'd love to play fucking everywhere, honestly. So,
Basically, yeah, that's the plan, isn't it? Just get everywhere.
hmm.
Actually saw you when you came over here.
Oh, nice. Where at?
It was at Islington, London.
Oh, okay. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that show. That was a good one. I remember all of the UK ones pretty well, just because
Yeah.
they were all just like a lot of them were like in like these college campuses. You know what I mean? With that's something that's not necessarily the case in America. We did something like that in Canada that was similar, but in America, like if we have bars and stuff, they're not in the university itself where they're like having classes. So that was kind of cool. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? This is kind of crazy. I mean, I haven't been to many colleges, obviously, but like as far as I know, like the ones in America just have like separate bars, like off campus and stuff. So that was a really cool, interesting thing that I feel like brought in more people and stuff. And then like afterwards, they'd have these like crazy like dance parties afterwards.
Hmm.
As soon as we were done, and they would go like late into the night, which was really nice because we don't want to have to fucking take an Uber somewhere like 30 minutes away and then plan 30 minutes to come back where I have to get back in the fucking bus. It's just right there. And once we're loading in, we can go right back inside, and it's a whole different atmosphere. So I thought that was really cool too. So yeah, the UK dates were really cool, and I like fucking loved playing in Ireland too. That was really
Oh
cool.
yeah. Great stuff, man. And of course, to say you're back here later in the year with Gate Creeping, it's going to absolutely slay. Um, Going back to the album, your favorite memories of the entire period, from beginning to the very end. Do you have anything that particularly stands out that you look at and go, man, I really enjoyed that?
Yeah, I mean, like I came in the last week of recording,
Yep.
and you know, it was just like just reuniting with the boys and shit, because like I'd only been talking to them, through FaceTime for the most part. Like I came up to Ohio to jam a couple times. So coming in there and seeing what they had done was just like I was like, oh fuck yeah, this shit is fucking badass. And I was lucky enough to be able to lay down like 2 solos on the album. And that was really cool to at least have somewhat to do with the album in the smallest sense even. But after we were done recording, we just like used the same thing as like when we're on tour. We just went and explored fucking Chicago and had like a good ass time. We had our boy Chris Roble with us. And he's always like off the wall, crazy, funny motherfucker. So having him around was really funny. Just drinking, smoking some weed, and just having a fucking good ass time. Like that's what I remember
Yeah.
from the records. Like we had fun, got business done, and then we got to relax and just fucking hang out. The way it should be, I think, anyway.
The way it should be. No kidding. It's crazy that you can have that experience, but there is still so much work surrounding it. You know what it involves, but you also know there's so much more to it these days than there was in the past. And we're talking about the level of promotion you have to do, both personally and with a label and all of that, the social media side of things, and all of that. How do you feel about that? Can you personally find enjoyment from having to put yourself out there on social media to push an album and a band?
Yeah, I mean, I can find like some enjoyment out of it. Not necessarily that I want to be like, out there, getting a bunch of attention and all that, but getting an opportunity to speak about what we're doing and the art that we're making is definitely it's nice because not a lot of people get the opportunity to like really talk about what went behind their album and the thought processes and all that stuff. So to be able to do that is a blessing in a weird way. I mean, it is a lot of work, writing an album and all that stuff. And people don't really know how like time consuming it is, and sometimes frustrating as well. So I mean, to be able to like give people an insight on that is kind of cool, and I find enjoyment in that, and just being able to tell people that it's just a hard work. It's kind of cool. Whatever.
Yeah, it is hard work. It's great to be able to share that with people. Just to say, just so people understand that little bit more about the process and the experience, while, as you say, having fun and having a beer and things like that.
hmm Yeah, because it was
I
kind
love
of
the
cool. Cause
record.
like, yeah, the record, yeah, is sick, and like going back to like having a beer like after the recording thing. We came back one day, and Ezra, was just like in a creative mindset when we got after the break of hanging out in Chicago, came back, and he wrote like 3 or 4 songs with the lyrics like right there, like in maybe the span of 1 to 2 hours. So that was kind of cool too. It was just like, oh shit, all right,
When
fuck
it
yeah.
hits, it hits.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, when it'll
Yeah.
just come to you at the most random times, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking nail this shit out right now.
Speaking of which, then you mentioned laying down two solos.
Yeah,
Did you have them kind of prepared in your mind already, or was it a matter of being in there and then just feeling inspired?
yeah, it was definitely more of just like being in there and feeling inspired. They played. They're like, so we want you to solo over this, and I heard it, and I was like, okay, I kind of like, I think I already know what I want to do there, and yeah, I just fucking went for it. Like, kind of just imagine what I if I was a listener and I was listening to the song, what I would want from that solo. And that's kind of how like I always write a solo is just kind of like you know picturing it not as like what is like I can do just to show off like what I can do, more as so to make it actual like like it like benefit the song rather than just be a bunch of fucking jerk off bullshit.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that just like jump into a solo and they just want to do all this crazy shit and show off everything they've been practicing for the past like 2 years. And then that's cool or whatever. But personally, like the guitar players I look up to don't just like throw solo and just throw solo. It's like holy shit, the solo like you know really adds to the song. And I like try to, keep that same mindset.
The solos on the album are absolutely banging. It's an incredible album. I spent all of last night. I was up all night last night at work, so I spent all of last night listening to it over and over again, 8 hours straight, man. So it is ingrained in there. And I think, right, I reckon the start of the album, the pairing of Hands of Eternity and Gross Abuse, might be the best start to an album I've heard all bloody year because of it
Yeah,
showcasing the two sort of sides of 200 stab wounds as it is right now.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
totally
like,
agree.
was that a conscious decision, like, to put like, to start the album off that way? Because it feels like it must have been.
Honestly, I think it was just the way it ended up being, honestly. There might have been a little bit of moving around of songs, but as far as I can remember, I think everything is just like, the way it was recorded in that order almost. I mean, I'm sure there was a little bit of switching around, but I think those two going next to each other was just like a perfect mistake. You know what I mean? Not a mistake, but the way it worked out.
Happy accident.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, happy accident.
You love it, man. Absolutely love it, though. Is there a track on the album, right, of all that's on there that you're particularly interested to see the response to?
Yeah, Parasite. That's a really cool one. We played that one live
Oh,
once. So like the tour that we just did, Full of Hell left for the last 10 days of it. We go home and because they're in other bands and had other shit to do. So when we jumped up to direct support, we had 10 more minutes or 15 more minutes or whatever it was. So we would practice that song every day at sound check for the whole tour. So when it came down to like playing it, we were pretty tight on it. And yeah, we were excited to play it. So I'm excited to see how people like respond to it too. Yeah, I really like that song.
it's a banger. It is. They're all bangers. And even got, as you said already, you got Jamie Morgan of Code Orange on Ride the Flatline. That's a pretty cool
Yep.
collab, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the boys have known, like, again, like, same kind of thing with Andy, where they've known the Code Orange dudes and everybody in the band for since they were in high school and stuff, like playing shows with them and everybody coming up together. So I mean, it seems like it might be like a out of left field kind of you know like choice in a sense, but really, if you know like the history of the band and everything, it just makes sense, really, for sure.
He's, he's a killer artist, man. What does it mean to you personally to get this album out?
I mean, it's gonna be our first Metal Blade, like full album release. So in a sense, that's historic for us as a band. It's a milestone for us as a band. Um, it's setting the tone as well for like what is to come for us as a band. Because we're always going to be trying to like improve musically, individually as musicians, as songwriters. Um, we're not going to ever try to put out some bullshit, just for putting it out or whatever. We're going to always try to, put things out that we can be proud of and we think that people also enjoy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, for me, it's setting like a precedent and like a standard for what we are going to be doing for the rest of our career.
I'd also throw in you're setting a standard for the future of
Mhm.
this particular music, this particular part of the scene as well. I think that's very important.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. Do you have another interview now?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
No, do you have another interview now? Sorry. I don't know if you had another one booked after me. Do you have another interview booked after
oh
me?
no, you're the only one today. Yeah,
Fantastic. Can I have 5 more minutes of your time? I know we've reached half eight
absolutely.
or half
Yeah,
eight here.
absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I got nothing
Because
going on. Like I said, I don't got a job or nothing. So.
I thought I'd check because I know these things can be someone's running scheduled. Right. This is Ozzy Osbourne, and in his head are random cards of everything and everything, including submissions from bands and artists we've spoken to
Okay.
over the years. Just going to pull some out at random, if you don't mind answering them.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Okay, we begin with, do you have any pre-show rituals?
Yes.
Okay.
Always, I always like at least want to drink like one beer just to kind of get loose. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to get like I don't like getting fucked up before I play just because I'm gonna fuck up and it's gonna piss me off and it'll piss everybody who's watching us off, it'll piss the band off. So, I like to have a beer just to like kind of chill. I like to also like make sure, I use the restroom before we play, so I'm not like up there being like, oh my god, I'm about to fucking shit my pants. Um, and then, I don't know if it would necessarily be pre-show like ritual in a sense, but if I don't eat like at least 2 hours beforehand, like I'll wait until after because like if I'm all full and shit when I'm playing, I'm just like, oh man, like fuck, I can barely move, I'm all tired and shit. So like I'll usually like wait to eat till after we play or something like that. If I didn't
Yeah,
eat earlier enough in the day.
yeah, I get you because you'll just end up feeling really lethargic. It's weighing heavy in his stomach, shit like that. I get it.
Yeah, I'm a big guy, so
Would you have a specific beer you like to drink though?
I've really been big on Guinness and Heineken lately.
Yeah.
Guinness being back from coming to Europe or in the UK and Ireland, we drank a lot of Guinness while we were there because we were like, fuck it, we might as well. This is where it's from. So we drank a lot of Guinness, and then I've always drank like Heineken. That's always been kind of like my beer choice. Is nice and light, and it kind of smells like weed for some reason. I don't know if that's because it's from the Netherlands or not, or from Amsterdam specifically. So yeah, I've always really liked Heineken. But we also drink a lot of twisted teas and White Claws too. So whatever's around out of those four, I guess.
Are you the kind of fella to whatever country you go to in the future that you'll go out of your way to try the local beer?
Yeah, I mean, like I'll try a local beer. I wouldn't necessarily say go out of my way, but if I like see something on the menu that like piques my interest, that's a local thing, I'll be like, I'll try that for sure. Like when we were in Belgium, in Brussels, I tried I think it's called a Creek beer or something like
Mm,
that, the cherry beer. And I tried
okay.
that, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is fucking insane!" It didn't even taste like beer, it didn't taste like it had alcohol and all. It kind of just tasted like a somewhat of like a cherry soda or something. But it was fucking awesome. And yeah, that was like an instance of like being somewhere local and being like, "This is their fucking shit." I was like everywhere, all over the menu. So I was like, I mean, it's got to be, something's going on with this shit. So I tried it, and yeah, it's fucking awesome.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you messed up, man. You're drinking it, and it's like a pop drink, an alcohol pop as we call them. So you're just able to knock it back really easily.
Oh yeah, yeah. I could have definitely had a lot of those.
All right, if you could live in any city in the world, where would you choose to live?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I mean, I love living in Dallas, the DFW area. There's so much going on all the time, but it gets so fucking hot. But man, I don't know. Other than here, I'd say somewhere. So like my grandpa, he lives in like Merida, in Mexico.
Cool.
So like I maybe like live there. It's a nice like quiet town, and it's really close to like the beach and everything. It's got a lot of history and very like a lot of culture there. Either there and then being in Ireland was like really kind of like just like whoa, I could totally see myself living here too. So maybe somewhere in Ireland, probably like Dublin or something. Dublin was really fucking cool.
It's a great city, man. All right. Well, it's funny. Well, because the next one out is tell me something great about your hometown.
Oh man, there's a lot. We're
Mm.
surrounded by quite a few lakes, so I mean you can always go fishing, take out a boat. A lot of the time, Dallas really isn't skipped over on tours. So if a tour comes through, there's a good chance that they're going to be coming through Dallas, and if it's not that tour, it'll definitely be the next one. So I know a lot of people in other states sometimes don't always get that luxury of their band that they like is coming on tour, but they're not even coming anywhere close to where they live, and that
Yeah.
fucking sucks. That's something I learned through playing music, and they're like, yeah, they never like come through where I'm at. I'm like, oh shit, really? I didn't really think about it because we're so spoiled here. So there's that. We got all kinds of fucking great like local beers. Man, there's so many breweries in just the DFW area that all make great fucking beer. Um, and music scene is always thriving. There's always fun shit to do. Tons of great food. I'm very lucky to be where I'm at for sure.
You almost sound like you work for the tourist board, man. You made it sound like a place to visit.
Oh man, it totally is. Not in
Never been to
August.
Texas.
It's 120 fucking degrees, but
Yeah. Fuck. Two more for you then. You need to de-stress. So you need to take some time for yourself. What might you do to help that?
let's see. Probably try to take a fucking nap,
Yeah.
or if I'm on, out going and do shit, maybe just have like a nice tall beer and just kind of chill, take a deep breath, and soak in the sun or something like that. Or fishing, dude. I mean, fishing. I love going fishing. If it's a really stressful period in my life, I'll just go out, to the river and just fucking chill out there, smoke a couple cigarettes, fucking bring a couple beers, and just chill.
Is that the appeal, right? Because fishing's a big thing in the UK as well. But I've never had any interest into it. I find the idea quite boring. But I often hear people absolutely love it for that. Is it just that where you're just stepping out, I guess, and just sitting there and effectively not needing to do anything?
Totally, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there is more like uh types of fishing that need more of your attention, where you're like doing, like, if you're bass fishing, you gotta be like an expert practically to be like, you gotta have a specific rod, a specific
Yeah.
reel, all the bait and all that shit. And I fuck with that sometimes, but I'm definitely more of just like fishing for catfish, and just throw that shit out there, and just sitting around watching the water, listening to the water, listening to birds do shit. Looking at a fucking turtle or something poke its head out. Yeah, just sitting there drinking a beer, just chilling under the shade. That's what I just like. Gives me a reason to be out there and sit in a specific spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely see how it's boring to a lot of people, though. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Thing is, man, each to our own. We've all got something we love doing that another person might not necessarily understand. It's cool shit. Last one for you. Give me one thing about you that fans might be surprised to know about you.
um, hmm. Oh, that I mean, a lot of people are surprised that I don't really like smoke weed that much anymore.
Okay.
That's one thing, and then also that I also just don't only listen to metal too. I listen to like all kinds of shit. So I said those two things probably, because people are always like, "Oh, smoke some fucking weed." I'm like, man, dude, I would if I wouldn't freak the fuck out. Because I used to smoke crazy weed all the time, all day, every day. But I don't know, something just happened. I can't do it no more. Pisses me off, honestly. I've been having dreams about it, like smoking like a huge bong and just like chilling, but can't do it. I don't know. It's weird.
I between my ages of say between 15 and 18, oh god, yeah, I was a heavy weed smoker. Obviously, even with the legalities things in the UK, I quit. I had to quit when I started the job I work for because I get randomly drug tested. I'm
Totally.
40. I'm 40 this year. And if I smell it, I still miss it. I don't think it ever really goes away.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, I have no problem being around it or anything, or people smoking around me. It's not like that kind of thing. So like whenever people like pull out, like I love when people buy like some weed, like if they go to a dispensary and they come back with like crazy fucking weed they got, and like I love smelling it and like looking at it and being like, God damn it, I wish I could fucking smoke this shit right now. And yeah, like the smell of it, like burning is awesome. Yeah, definitely miss it for sure. I know maybe one day like my body will decide to cooperate again, but we'll see.
We'll see. But hey, if you can't get high on that, you can get high on the new album, Manual
Yeah.
Manic Procedures, out June 28th via Metal Blade Records. It is absolutely fucking killer. in my opinion. I can't wait people to hear it. Ray, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, dude, of course. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.